Hey, here's the final of the 3 little short videos I wanted to prepare for you that talk to you about the 3 major pieces of paperwork that you have to submit after every advising session. We've already talked about the degree audit, what that is, what it's used for. We've talked about the degree plan, how it's actually the role of the students to make their degree plan, but we do have to double check their degree plan to make sure they've done it correctly initially. And so the final step is actually the record of advising. And I'll just let you know, this is actually why the students come to us each semester. It's to be advised on what classes they should take the next semester, right? Without coming through us, they actually can't even enroll in the first place because we have to clear them for registration. And I'll show you how we do that. It's done online through self-service, right? But we give them a physical sheet of paper that tells them which classes that we advise them to take. Okay, let's look at one of my students that I just did this semester. We'll look at Alexis Hagens. I advised her. She's a student athlete. So I did her early, I believe. We had a 2-week in advance to get all of our student athletes advised. So again, I have shortcuts to all of these things. In fact, I have a shortcut on my desktop that just takes me directly to the completed degree audits. During advising season, which is usually the second half of the semester, I usually just keep a shortcut to the degree audits on my desktop because I'm in it so often. Anyway, let's look at Alexis Hagens, H-A-G. Where is she? Here she is. This is 2018. Fall is when I advised her. So again, here's her degree plan, here's her degree audit, and here's her record of advising. So the record of advising is actually a sheet of paper that you can pick up from the main office downstairs. Jamie has them. She'll give you a stack if you ask for them. You fill out what classes you want the student to take the next semester, and you write, I'm recommending courses for, in this case, it's spring of 2019, because right now we're in fall of 2018, so she's going to be advised for the spring of 2019. We want to write the student's name in, the date that we're advising them, their ID number, what their concentration is. So she's biology pre-PT, she's pre-OT, biology with a concentration in pre-OT, and then always get a current cell phone number for them because our records always change. And then we write down the series of classes that we want them to have. We sign it, and then we get the student to sign it so that they know these are the classes we recommend. Students may go off later and decide that they're not going to take our advice, and they'll enroll in some other class. That is absolutely their right, but they often then don't take the classes they need, and so they can't graduate on time. So we have to have a record semester by semester of saying, hey, I told you to take this class, I told you needed English 3002, and you needed it for spring 2019, and you chose to take some other thing, and now you can't graduate because you still need to take English 3002. So we keep this as a record to protect ourselves against students saying, hey, you just advised me really badly, and now I have to spend $3,000 more so I finish taking these classes after I should have graduated. So always, always, always fill out a record of advising session and then keep a copy of it. Most faculty fill this out and then they go downstairs and they photocopy it. They give the original to the student and then they hand the photocopied version to Jamie, and she puts it directly in the student's files. I do it slightly differently. I fill it out here in my office. I and the student sign it, and then I digitally scan it using an app on my phone. I send this copy, the original copy, with the student, and then I save a copy, I save this digital copy into their folders so that we have a digital copy. I also send an email to Jamie with the advising record, the updated degree plan, and the updated degree audit. I send an email to Jamie after I advise the student. I send all 3 of these files to Jamie, and she prints them out and puts them in as a hard copy in their folder. But we also have digital copies that we keep on the biology shared drive. Okay, so that's personal preference. If you want to keep a digital record of it, I think I'm maybe the only faculty member that does keep a digital record of it. It's just also I like to have access to these later on if I want to go back in and see, hey, what did I advise this student of? I don't have to go down to the office and get their hard file to see it. Okay. By the way, we choose these classes based on their degree plan. Remember, so on the last video we talked about the degree plan. The degree plan shows semester by semester what the student needs to take in order to graduate. So I'm bringing up Alexis's degree plan. It will load. Here we go. So we developed this degree plan for her early on, and we've kept it current every semester. I've made sure that she sticks with it. The last time we updated it was actually November 10th, 2017. If a student doesn't fail a class, or if a student doesn't drop a class, then this degree plan holds, and they can just take whatever courses are necessary next. If a student fails a class, however, then the student would have to retake the class, and we'd have to reschedule it in a later semester. So semester by semester, you do need to go in and update their degree plan before you advise them, so that you know which classes they need to take. So Alexis is a great student. She's never failed or needed to drop anything. So I just needed to go in, look up the Spring 19, English 3002, Psych 3001, the 2 physics classes, and kinesiology. So are those the classes that I recommended for her? They sure are. So Spring 2019, there it is. So the advising session actually is, once they have a degree plan in place, the actual advising session can be very, very brief. So you get the advising out of the way, and then you can ask questions like, how's your semester going? Are you struggling with any courses? What about your career? Are you making strides to get into grad school? Or what are you doing for to ensure you're going to be able to pass the GRE, or to ensure that you're going to pass whatever professional school exam you have? So if you come prepared to their advising session, you can actually talk about other things. You can talk about career building things with the student, and that's what advising, the heart and the meat of advising, should be about. It's not spending 45 minutes trying to decide which classes the student should take. You should already have that worked out back when they're freshmen. All right, from their sophomore, junior, senior years on, you should be hopefully discussing their career plans and how they're making progress on their career plans. All right, that is the record of advising, and that concludes the 3 major pieces of paperwork that you will need to go over when you have a student that needs advised. As always, if you have any questions about any of these things, just feel free to ask.